Ah, what a greasy man! Bonjour, beautiful people from YouTube. How are you today? My name is Cyril. I used to be a stem cell researcher for quite some time, and this is why I can tell you about the science behind skincare ingredient. And well, welcome to another video about sunscreen. Yes, of course, I hope that you are not bored about all my sunscreen videos. And yes, this is one more video, and this one is dedicated for those of you who have oilier skin type and you want like some lightweight, some sort of invisible sunscreen. When I say invisible, I mean in terms of feeling, because some of them, they are going to have white cast, but basically if you do want to end up like a greasy mess, like, you know, this tacky greasy sensation, like, ooh yeah, I hate it, this is basically the video for you. They are not necessarily all super matte, but I do think that for oilier skin type they can be definitely suitable for you. Also, if you don't have oily skin but you just prefer to have, I would say, a more normal to slightly matte finish, this video is also going to be for you. And also, if you have super dry skin but still you like this sort of more matte finish, I would say, you can definitely use the sunscreen, but underneath apply like a pretty hardcore and pretty solid moisturizer, like to help to cope with the sunscreen. I mean, at the end of the day, the most important stuff is of course for you to find the proper sunscreens. And I say sunscreens because you know me, I usually recommend two types of sunscreen. The one that you can wear on a day-to-day basis when you are mostly indoors, and another one that will be more hardcore for those days when you will be exposed to the sun. So I've actually put them like in three big categories: the Japanese one, the Korean one that you find in South Korea, and also the one that you find in Europe, because they are basically all the sunscreen that I'm always trying. And I also think that they are, I would say, easier to find when you live basically in the world. So let's dive in. So the first one that I'm going to show you are Japanese sunscreen. I am not going to give you all the details about UV filters, but I will of course include them. Like always, this is extremely important, because if you know that you tend to react to one type of filters like that, you will be able to know if you can use this one or not. This video will be all about the texture, how it feels on the skin, and also about the finish. If you do want to have like more details about them, in most of the sunscreen I've already done a review, because I am the sunscreen guru right here, so you will have more information. And also the last thing that I want to tell you is they are all going to be SPF of 50 plus, well, of course, and I strongly encourage you to not use below SPF 50 plus, even though if it is an SPF 50, even though you have been watching other YouTubers such as dermatologists, don't listen to them. Use a damn SPF 50 plus, please, people, do it. Okay, so the first one that I want to show you, or I should say the first two, they are from Biore UV. If you do live in the United States, for example, you can get those one on Amazon.com. Lucky you, because they are harder to find here in France, for example. So the first one is this one. This is the Biore UV, the watery essence, the aquarite. I mean, this one in terms of texture, mama, this one is good. So it does have alcohol, therefore if you are sensitive to alcohol, this one definitely won't be for you. So the texture is very creamy, sort of jet-like. It is a water-based sunscreen, so therefore it feels very lightweight on the skin. So upon application, it looks very shiny. It is very refreshing because of the high alcohol content, but also because of the water content. I have to say that this one I have a harder time to use it on my face because I am quite sensitive to alcohol. If you have impaired skin barrier, this one won't be for you. This one has zero white cast. It does have a perfume, but barely there. It is barely there. So upon application, it looks a little bit dewy, but it has a finish normal to slightly dewy, but barely there. If you have very oily skin, I do think that you will like to put a tiny bit of powder on the T-zone, but it's pretty lovely. If you want to wear makeup, this one is also excellent. What I also love about this one is that the price is sweet. This is not too expensive, and this is an excellent sunscreen to apply on the body, like on the arms. This is usually the one that I love to use the most currently on my arms when I am mostly at home. Do I recommend this one if you are exposed to a lot of sun, like for a very long walk? under like a very hot sun. No, absolutely not. This is also not the one to use when you go at the beach, but whatever your skin color, this one will be perfect. Another one, which I love even more, is this one from Biore. This is the UV, the Athleism. This one is a little bit more expensive, but I do find it even better than the Aqua Rich one. So this one, according to Biore, supposedly make a veil that is more resistant to sweat when you are more basically outdoors. This one also has zero white cast. It also has alcohol, but probably less than this one. I can use this one on my face without any problem and without any irritation. Again, the texture, ooh, the texture is good. J'adore la texture de celui-ci. So the texture is again this sort of gel, but it more feels like a gel cream than this one is more like of a gel lotion in a way. So again, very pleasant, very lightweight. The perfume is a little bit more present. It is still a fine, in my opinion, a pleasant perfume. Of course, this is not optimal, but the texture is really good. It feels very lightweight, as if you barely have anything on the skin. Also, if you do like to wear makeup, this one is an excellent makeup primer. I really enjoyed this one on a day-to-day basis. Of course, if you're allergic to perfume, don't use this one. If you have very impaired skin barrier, don't use this one. Also for the body, this one would be optimal for the top of your hands and also for your body. It is not tacky, it is not going to transfer. It has no white cast. Whatever your skin color, I have actually tested both of those two on a friend of mine, and he has a deep chocolatey, oh my god, my English, chocolatey skin tone, and he has absolutely no problem with it. So those ones are really lovely. So the next two are probably the more like hardcore sunscreen when you will be exposed to a lot of sun. So in general, in Japanese sunscreen, the milk version supposedly will be more protective, like those ones that are more like essence like. So the first one is the Biore, the UV Perfect. This one, this is the Perfect Face Milk, SPF 50 plus, PA rating of 4+, so hence the name. This is a milk. It is very liquidy, very lightweight on the skin. It also has a blurring effect on the skin. So this one does have a white cast. It is pretty minimal, I have to say, because it has ZINC oxide, very pretty on the skin. It is going to slightly blur the pores, and overall your skin basically looks a little bit better than without the sunscreen, which of course we love, especially for application. If you have fair skin tone, I don't think that you will have a major problem with it like mine. If you have medium skin tone, you will have a white cast, but it is going to be a pleasant white cast, not like just on your face in your way. It does dries out almost to a matte finish, and it is not greasy at all. I really enjoyed this one. The next one, and I have used this one in hardcore condition. I've never experienced any tanning. Oh my god, I never want to tan, and I highly encourage you to never tan, especially on your face. I mean, shield your face like a crazy person when you are exposed to the sun. Is of course this one from Anessa. This is the Perfect UV Sunscreen Skincare Milk. This one is the new formula from 2020. I have a whole video about all Anessa sunscreen if you want to know more about this one. This one is a milk. It is less runny than this one. Be careful with those texture. It is very easy to under apply them and also to have an even coat. What I do encourage you, especially with this one, is to apply the first coat with the correct amount on your face, then you wait maybe for 5 minutes and you reapply a lighter amount on the face. Like this, you have more insurance that every single piece of your face is well coated, because you don't want to have those crazy UV on your face. Gosh, no. So the Anessa one, it is a milk, so please check it. This one, in terms of texture, even though it is a milk, as you can see, it is not very runny. This one does need maybe 15 to 30 minutes to set. If you have oily skin type, also this one would be good. The veil is like there. This one is, like I said, bulletproof. Even if you have it on your hands and you warm water on top and you rub it, this stuff doesn't move. It is absolutely crazy. This is also my favorite one. It is expensive, I know, to wear like on my neck or also on my arms. When I am like in Paris, I don't want to have my sunscreen to transfer everywhere and etc. I don't want something to set and without any problem, so I always use the NSA, and like I said, the finish is on the matte side. I love this one. If you also want to apply makeup, you definitely can. As always, if you want to wear makeup, use a sponge and dab onto your face. So the next one are the K Beauty sunscreen. I have quite a few actually to show you. The next two are basically almost the same. I have a video where I compare them. So this is the Klairs, the Soft Airy UV Essence, SPF 50+, pure rating of 4+, duh, of course. And the next one is the Purito, the Centella Unscented Sun, same rating. Those two use the same filters. Those two for everyday are simply magnificent. So the Klairs and the Purito, they are very, very similar. The Klairs does have one essential oils, but feels a little bit more pleasant in my opinion on the skin than the Purito one, but they are very, very similar. So the Klairs here is a little bit more watery, I would say, than the Purito one over there that is a little bit more, that is creamier, basically, but they are very similar. If you have more sensitive skin, the Purito will be better because it doesn't have any essential oils. Be careful because for certain skin type, especially oilier skin type, those one can feel a little bit there, but I do know people that have oily skin and they do like this one. If you plan to use this one, what I would do if you really have oily skin type is first to apply your toner and then apply those sunscreen. Maybe you will need a little bit of powder on the T-zone because they will be there. I do not recommend to wear those one for those of you who will be outside for a very long time. Also, those one are perfectly suitable for very dark skin tone. Those one have absolutely no white cast. Which brings me to the next one that is also slightly moisturizing. This is the one from Krave Beauty. So in the United States, this is the Beet Shield. In South Korea and also Malaysia and Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, this is Beet the Sun. So this one is of course an SPF of 50+ with a pure rating of 4+. Like I said, the finish of this one is a little bit more dewy, not that much I have to say. I'd still want to feature it in this video because if you live in the United States, this is so damn difficult to be able to have a sunscreen with the new generation filter. This is the case of this one. It does have alcohol, so keep this in mind. If you have very impaired skin barrier, you cannot use this one in the beginning. Once your skin is healed, you can definitely choose this one. This one is a milk. This is not overly runny. As you can see, this is very pleasant to use, perfect to wear under makeup. If you have very, very oily skin, use a little bit of powder. So the last two that I want to show you in K Beauty, they are mineral based sunscreen. So the first one that is definitely the most elegant, probably also the less protective, especially for UVA type 1. It's this one, the Comfy Water Sunblock SPF 50+ pure rating of 4+. I really enjoy this one also because it is not overly drying. It is not very moisturizing though, so keep this in mind. But definitely if you have drier skin type, even though this is not a video for you, obviously, just use a thicker moisturizer. Also, mineral sunscreen, the main issue that I have with them is that the UVA type 1 filter will be the zinc oxide, which is not going to be very absorbent. So even though you still have a pH rating of 4+, keep in mind that the absorption for UVA type 1 won't be optimal. Still, for certain skin type and in certain situations, they would be probably the best one for you. Especially for very sensitive skin. If you have tried a lot of organic based sunscreen, you still react to them, even this one, the Purito, the unscented one, it is worth a try to use a mineral one. I'm also thinking about people who are acne prone. You have a lot of acne, a lot of inflammation. It is very difficult to find a proper sunscreen. Mineral sunscreen will be your saver. So the Comfy Water from Purito is very creamy, and at the same time it has this sort of essence-like texture, very pleasant. It does have, of course, a white cast, not overly there. If you have a beard like me, you can definitely blend it. My only issue, like I said with it, it has a UVA protection of 19 because thanks God Purito does disclose the UVA protection. So this one, when you are mainly indoors, it is fine. If you are exposed to a lot of sun, it is a no-no. If you have fair skin to medium skin tone, you can make it work. Of course, if you have a darker skin tone, this one won't be for you because of the white cast. The last one that I want to show you, this one from Innisfree, this is the Triple Care. So this one is also a mineral sunscreen. This one is definitely creamier. I would guess that the UVA protection is way better than the Purito one, simply because this one use, I would guess, a higher concentration of zinc oxide. I am not sure of it. This is a speculation. So this one, very creamy, very nice upon application. I have to say that for a mineral sunscreen, it is very elegant. The white cast is really there. So even for medium skin tone, if you are scared about a white cast, this one is going to be there. Also, it is going to cling to facial hair. You can still blend it, but it is an issue, I have to say, with this one. More than the Purito one, but you will have a better protection for sure. Or not for sure, but supposedly. And it is more in a cream that has a very, very nice finish on the skin. If the white cast is too strong for you, you can definitely apply makeup, use a sponge, and what you can do, you take your sunscreen with you and you are going to match the shade of foundation on top. What you should do if you want to do this is when you are going to the store to find a foundation for you, what you should do is apply first the sunscreen on your hand and you wait, or even to your face actually, and you wait at least for 5 minutes to let the sunscreen sink in, and then you are going to dab on the foundation and match the shade according to it. Okay, and voila for the Korean sunscreen. So now let's move on to the European sunscreen. Ooh la la. So for European sunscreen, I have 4 to show you. So the first one is this one. This is the one from SVR. This is the fluid, the Invisible Finish Dry Touch fluid. This one, I have to say, is very impressive, especially for European sunscreen, because most of the time they are like pretty greasy, pretty there. So if you have oily skin type, they're not the one. This one could be a good one for you. The downside of this one is that it does have a white cast because it has tinols of M. If you are suffering from melasma, from a lot of hyperpigmentation, choose this one and also the second one from Arderma. So hence the name. This is a fluid. It does have a white cast, but not a very strong one. It is not overly liquidy, so it's pretty easy to have an even coat. As you can see, the texture, like I've said, very lovely. It does have a perfume. It is there. It is not the strongest one in the shade of SVR. The finish also on the skin is pretty nice, and you can wear makeup on top of this one. Also because it has the Holy Grail, tinols of S and tinols of M, probably the UVA protection, especially for type 1, is really, really there. Which brings me to the next one, which is this one from Arderma. This is the Invisible Fluid. I am almost out of this one. This one also amazing. The combination of filters of this one avoid OCTINOXATE and OCTOCRYLENE. So if you tend to react to sunscreen, you may try this one. This one might be also for you. Very matte on the skin. So definitely if you have very oily skin, this one will be for you. It does have a white cast though. The white cast that you get from those sunscreen that are tinols of M base are always less significant than a mineral based sunscreen such as the Innisfree, the Triple Care, but I just put it out there. If you have fair skin tone to medium skin tone, you can make it work. For darker skin tone, for sure you will have to use makeup on top. So the texture, it is less fluid than the SVR one. Also, the white cast is, like I said, more present, but it is more matte than the SVR one. Again, if you are suffering from hyperpigmentation, I highly recommend the Arderma. It does have a perfume. It is not too strong, but you still have a perfume. So the last two for this video are also like you super duper hardcore sunscreen. I have already talked about them actually on my video with high UVA protection. The first one is simply the La Roche-Posay, the Invisible Fluid, the Shaka Protect Tech. So this one has an amazing UVA protection of 46. This is a milk, very liquidy, you need to shake it. Be very careful because with this one, it is so easy to under apply because it is so liquidy. You do need a lot. It is very watery, as you can see. 100% transparent. Whatever your skin color, you will be able to use this one. Don't use this one on irritating skin though, because it does have a high content of alcohol. Check my video, my last video about high UVA protection. But this one, very pleasant to use in texture. Also, you can wear makeup on top. Oh god, itchy eyes. Very pleasant to use and super invisible. Also, it doesn't sting the eye. You can also use this one actually on your body, like your arms, for example. It is not sticky at all. So the last one, it is the sort of European dupe of the Anessa, even though I still prefer the Anessa. This is this one from ISDIN, the Spot Prevent. So according to ISDIN, this one has a UVA protection of 60, so super high. I know that there is some controversy about ISDIN. This one does have perfume. The La Roche-Posay one exists in a perfume free, which I obviously recommend. But this one, again, this is a milk that is a little bit less runny than the La Roche-Posay, but it's still runny, so be careful. So this one, it is an hybrid sunscreen, so it does have a white cast because it has titanium dioxide. The finish is really nice. The white cast is not very strong. It does has a perfume and also a little bit of alcohol. So again, if you are sensitive to it, this one won't be for you. Again, check my video about it, but it is pretty lightweight. Also, this one on the body or simply on the top of the hands, perfect. For darker skin type, this one won't be for you unless, again, you wear a lot of makeup. So I hope that you find this video very useful to you. Comment down below. I think that my next video on sunscreen will be also probably about sensitive skin, so skin that tends to react to a lot of sunscreen. So I will give you more details about good sunscreen for you. Of course, comment down below, share and repost this video if you did like it. Of course, if you did like it, also give it the biggest thumbs up that you can on planet Earth. If you are new, consider to subscribe to my channel and to ring the bell, because like this you will get notified every time I post a new video and you don't want to miss any of my new videos. Also check my Instagram account. I am Cyril Laurent. I do a lot of live, so if you want to ask me a question, this is definitely the best way to do it. I thank you so much for being here and I will see you next time. Au revoir. Bye bye.